Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're about to take a deep dive into something that might sound, well, a little dry at first, but stick with us because we promise it's way more exciting than it sounds.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're talking about the chart of accounts. Yep, you heard that right, the chart of accounts. We're going to uncover why it's so important and how you can actually use it to make smarter decisions for your business.
That's right.
So let's just dive in.
Yeah.
What exactly is a chart of accounts? I mean, we hear the term thrown around, but what does it really mean for like the everyday business owner?
So think of it like this. A chart of accounts, which you'll often hear called COA, it's basically the backbone of your entire financial system. It's a structured list, really, of all the accounts that you use in your business to track, well, everything, all your financial transactions, income, expenses, assets, liabilities, the whole nine yards.
Okay, so kind of like a map of your money, right?
Yeah,
Helps you see where it's all going.
exactly. A financial roadmap. That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so that makes sense. But here's the thing, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. Building a chart of accounts, it can feel a little, I don't know, overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like, where do you even begin?
Absolutely. And honestly, that's where a lot of businesses get tripped up. The traditional way of approaching it, it's very transaction focused, like, oh, a new expense pops up, better create a new account for it. But that can get messy really fast.
Right, it's like building a house room by room without any real plan, and you end up with this kind of Frankenstein situation.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And in the end, you might not even have a COA that actually gives you the information you need to make good decisions.
So how do we fix that? Where do we start?
Well, here's where things get interesting. Instead of starting with the individual transactions, we flip the script and start with the outputs. What do you actually want to get out of your financial system?
Okay, I'm liking this already. Flipping the script sounds very proactive.
Exactly. So before you even start thinking about individual accounts, ask yourself, what reports do I need? What kind of insights are crucial for me to make the right decisions?
Ooh, okay, so it's almost like starting with the end in mind. Like, we need these reports, we want to know this, so
Yeah.
how do we set up our COA to give us that information?
Exactly. It's strategic.
Okay, real talk, that sounds like it could create a ton of accounts. How do you even keep track of it all?
Ah, well, that's where a well-defined numbering convention comes in.
Okay, numbering conventions. That sounds technical. Tell me more.
It's really not as complicated as it sounds. Think of it this way. You know how you use labels and folders to organize all your files, right? So you can find things easily.
Yeah, for sure.
A numbering convention for your COA is basically like that. It's a system that lets you categorize and, retrieve information really quickly.
Got it. So, like, give me an example. How does that actually work in practice?
Sure. So let's say all of your asset accounts, they could start with the number one. All your liability accounts could start with the number two. And then, within those categories, you can get even more specific, like current assets might be 11, fixed assets 12, and so on.
So instead of digging through this mountain of data,
Hmm.
if I need to know about, like, my current assets, bam, I just look for everything that starts with 11.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how this all fits together. It's like a
Yeah.
puzzle, but for your finances.
It really is. And the best part is a clear numbering convention. It can make reporting so much easier, less room for errors, and it just simplifies everything.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. If our listeners can only take away one thing from this deep dive, what would be?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. Don't just let your chart of accounts just happen. Take control and design it strategically. Think about what you need from it first, those outputs we were talking about. Then structure your COA and your numbering system to make sure it gives you exactly what you need.
Make it work for you, not the other way around. That's powerful stuff. So to wrap things up, here's a little food for thought for everyone listening. Imagine you could design your chart of accounts to answer any question you have about your business finances. Any question at all. What would that question be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Think about that.
Mm.
Because the answer, it might just unlock a whole new level of understanding and clarity for your business. And that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
See you then.